you interact. Every people every day, but did you know your secrets? Use tricks on you and on others.
Have you ever walked into a room, tripped over something, and felt like everyone was watching and judging you? That embarrassment that makes your face turn red? That's the spotlight effect, and science says you're completely wrong about it. Your brain genuinely believes you are the center of everyone's attention. But research from Cornell University showed that when participants wore an embarrassing t-shirt into a room, they estimated that 50% of people noticed. The real number? Less than 25. Here's why this happens. Your brain uses your own experience as the baseline for everyone else's. You know you tripped, so you assume everyone saw it. But people are way too focused on their own worlds to notice yours. Real life scenario, you give a presentation, forget one word, and think everyone spotted it. Your boss? He was checking his phone. Your colleague? Thinking about lunch? Nobody noticed. Nobody cared. The spotlight was only in your head. Next time you feel everyone is watching, remind yourself, the spotlight isn't on you. It never was. Here's a quick test. I'll say a number, don't think too hard. Ready? 1000? Now guess, how many piano tuners are there in Chicago? If you said something in the thousands, you were anchored. If I had said 10 first, you'd probably have guessed a much lower number. This is the anchoring bias. Your first piece of information becomes the reference point for every decision that follows. Stores use this on you every single day. Ever see a price tag that says was $199, now $79? That $199 is the anchor. It doesn't matter if the product was never actually worth $199. Your brain locked onto that number and made $79 feel like a steal. Mini story, Sarah is buying a car. The salesman starts at $42,000. After negotiating hard, she walks out paying $36,000 feeling victorious. What Sarah doesn't know, the real market price was $31,000. The anchor made her pay $5,000 more than she needed to. The fix? Always research independently before entering any negotiation. Never let someone else set your first number. You already believe something right now. And here's the uncomfortable truth. You've been collecting evidence for it for years and ignoring everything that proves you wrong. Confirmation bias is the brain's tendency to search for, interpret, and remember information that confirms what you already believe. It's not dishonesty, it's efficiency. Your brain can't process everything, so it filters out noise. The problem is, it starts filtering out truth too. Scenario: Marcus believes his new business idea is brilliant. He Googles it. He reads the 3 success stories and closes the tab before finishing the article about why 90% of similar businesses fail. His brain found what it was looking for and stopped. This trick shapes politics, relationships, investing, and self-image. It's the reason smart people hold on to wrong beliefs for decades. One powerful habit: actively search for the strongest argument against your own position. Not to lose, but to know if your belief can survive the challenge. Quick question: do you remember clearly what you were doing the last time something major happened in the world? You probably said yes without hesitation. Here's the problem: memory researcher Elizabeth Loftus proved in dozens of studies that human memory is not a recording. It's a reconstruction. Every time you remember something, you're not replaying it. You're rebuilding it, and tiny details change each time. In one famous experiment, participants watched a car accident video. One group was asked how fast were the cars going when they smashed. Another group heard when they hit. The smashed group remembered a faster speed, and 1 week later, 32% of them also remembered seeing broken glass. There was no broken glass in the video. Real-world impact: eyewitness testimonies in court, arguments about who said what in relationships, your clear memory of how something happened as a child. All of these are reconstructions that feel 100% real but have drifted from reality. Your memory isn't a camera, it's a storyteller and it edits every time it speaks. You walk into a new city, two restaurants side by side, one is empty, one has a line out the door. You join the line without reading a single review, that's social proof. And it's running your decisions constantly, silently, automatically. Your brain evolved in tribal settings where what everyone else does was often a shortcut to survival. If the whole tribe is running, run. Don't stop to ask questions. This reflex kept your ancestors alive. Today, it makes you buy things you don't need, follow trends that don't suit you, and agree with people you secretly disagree with, all because the crowd is doing it. Story: in 1969, researcher Stanley Milgram had people stop on a busy New York sidewalk and stare up at an empty building. 40% of passers-by looked up too. When he added 15 people staring, 86% looked up. Nobody was there. Nothing was happening. The crowd was the trigger. The next time you want something because everyone else does, pause and ask, do I actually want this? Or am I following the crowd? Most people think, if I do something nice for someone, they'll like me, but there's a counterintuitive trick that works even better. Ask them to do something nice for you. Benjamin Franklin famously used this to win over a political rival. Instead of doing the man a favor, Franklin asked to borrow a rare book from his personal library. The rival lent it, and from that day on he was friendly to Franklin for life. Here's the psychology: when people do something for you, their brain seeks to justify that action. It concludes, I must like this person, otherwise why would I help them? The action creates the feeling, not the other way around. How to use it: ask a colleague for a small, genuine favor. Hey, you know a lot about X, could you help me understand this? Watch how their attitude toward you shifts in the days that follow. Want someone to like you? Don't do them a favor, ask them for one. Imagine your teenage daughter asks you for $500 to go on a trip. You say no. She then asks for $80 to go to a concert with her friends. And suddenly, $80 sounds completely reasonable. That's the door-in-the-face technique, and you can use it ethically and powerfully in your daily life. The principle: start with a large, unreasonable request that will almost certainly be refused. Then follow with your real, smaller request. The contrast makes the second ask feel much more reasonable, and people are more likely to say yes because they already said no once and feel mild social pressure to cooperate. Business scenario: you want a 10% raise? Open the conversation asking for 25%. Get the gentle no. Now ask for 10%. Your boss just rejected a bigger request. 10% feels like the fair compromise. Used ethically, this isn't manipulation, it's intelligent framing. Use it for good things. Most people are terrified of silence in conversations. The moment there's a gap, they rush to fill it, often saying more than they meant to. You can use this in negotiations, interviews, difficult conversations. When someone finishes speaking, don't respond immediately. Count silently to 4. The other person will almost always start talking again. And when people talk to fill silence, they reveal more than they planned. Story: a journalist was interviewing a CEO who gave a polished non-answer. Instead of asking another question, the journalist just waited. After 7 full seconds of silence, the CEO started talking again. And what came out was the real story, the one the journalist was looking for. Silence also signals confidence. People who rush to fill every pause feel anxious. People who sit comfortably in silence feel powerful. Your quietness sends a message: I don't need to prove anything. In your next important conversation, say what you need to say. Then stop, let the silence do the rest. I'm going to exercise more. I'm going to eat healthier. I'm going to read every night. Sound familiar? These are goals, and science shows they fail about 80% of the time. Implementation intentions developed by psychologist Peter Gollwitzer are a simple hack that transforms vague goals into scheduled, triggered behaviors. The formula is, when X happens, I will do Y instead of I'll exercise more when I wake up Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I will put on my shoes and walk for 20 minutes before checking my phone. In Gollwitzer's research, people who used this simple sentence structure were 3 times more likely to follow through on their intentions. Why? Because the brain recognizes the situational trigger and activates the behavior automatically before your lazy brain has time to negotiate your action. Take one goal you've been failing at. Right now, right when specific trigger, I will specific action at specific place. This is not motivation, it's engineering, and it works. Here's one that might surprise you. Being perfect actually makes you less likable. Making small, human mistakes in certain contexts makes you more trustworthy, more relatable, and more persuasive. This is the Pratfall Effect, discovered by psychologist Elliot Aronson. In his study, participants rated a highly competent person who spilled coffee on himself as more likable, not less than the same person who didn't spill anything. Why? Because perfection creates distance. When someone is flawless, we can't relate. But when they show a small human flaw, suddenly they're one of us. How to use it in a job interview? Instead of pretending you've never failed, briefly mention a mistake you made and immediately explain what you learned from it. In a presentation, if you stumble, laugh it off naturally. These moments don't damage your credibility, they build it. Stop trying to appear perfect. The cracks in your armor are what make people trust you.